What is business? Is it making money or helping people? Who are businessmen? Are they CEOs or small business owners? No matter how big or small a business is, it speaks the same language. The language of business.
Hello, my name is Jason Palmer, and welcome to the Language of Business. Do you know how many tourists visit London every year? More than 30,000? More than 1 million? Or more than 20 million? The answer is more than 20 million tourists visit London every year. As you can imagine, tourism makes up a very important part of London's economy. Tourists spend their money on sightseeing, shopping, food, but probably the biggest expenditure is their accommodation. It can be a 5-star hotel, an apartment, a private room, or a dorm in a hostel. All these are part of the hospitality business. So today, we're going to have a closer look at hostels and learn how they work.
What is a hostel? A hostel is a place where you can stay when traveling. This is a type of budget accommodation. Here, guests can rent a bed in a dormitory, but share shower and toilet facilities with other guests. This is Astor Hyde Park Hostel, one of 4 Astor hostels for young and active travellers. The place has democratic rules, simple living conditions, and all for a very low price. And this is Alexander, the managing director of Astor Hostels.
Hello, I'm Alexander Rivers, and I'm the managing director of Astor Hostels. Very nice to meet you.
So, what does Alex do as the managing director of Astor Hostels? Do you know what a managing director does? What is his job?
What does Alex do as the managing director of Astor Hostels? Searches for clients, makes financial reports, or controls the work of the hostels? Not sure yet? We will find out right now.
My main responsibilities are to oversee the financials of the business. So, of course, the budgets, overseeing expenditure and the sales, of course, and the revenue of the company. I also create the marketing strategy, generally oversee the business. Other little things include the maintenance of the hostels. I have to make sure we maintain our hostels properly. And I hire the key staff, so the key staff in the head office and the managers of each hostel as well.
According to Alex, he oversees or looks after, that is, controls, financials and business, expenditure and revenue. Expenditure is a synonym of expenses or an amount of money spent. This is also the action of spending money. So when Alex says he oversees expenditure, he means that he controls how hostels spend money. Revenue means income or an amount of money received. So when Alex says he oversees the revenue, he means that he controls how the hostels receive money. Now let's listen once again to how Alex describes his role.
My main responsibilities are to oversee the financials of the business. So, of course, the budgets, overseeing expenditure and the sales, of course, and the revenue of the company. I also create the marketing strategy, generally oversee the business. Other little things include the maintenance of the hostels. I have to make sure we maintain our hostels properly. And I hire the key staff, so the key staff in the head office and the managers of each hostel as well.
In this part of the interview, Alex says that he hires key staff. Staff or personnel are employees, people who work for a company. To hire means to give somebody a job. So to hire staff means to recruit or employ people who will work for a company.
So, now you know what Alex does as the managing director. Let's check. Right, he controls the work of the hostels. This includes budgets, marketing strategy, maintenance, and staff.
Now, it's time to check what you've learnt so far. Try to match the words to their meanings.
Match the words to their meanings. Let's check. To oversee means to control. Expenditure means expenses or money spent. And revenue is income or money received.
Now let's move on to the next part of our program and discover the hardest thing about running a hostel.
Astor Hostels is a group of backpackers hostels. They are designed for backpackers or budget travelers who spend an extended period of time overseas, working or traveling. It's interesting that many of them work at the hostels where they live. It means the hostels are run by travelers for travelers. So, all the people that work at such hostels are travelers themselves, employed as desk clerks or housekeeping staff in exchange for free accommodation.
So, now let's listen to Alex and try to understand what he thinks is the most difficult thing about managing a hostel.
What is the most difficult thing about managing a hostel? Finding clients, keeping buildings in good condition, or ensuring that the business is run properly? Try to guess. Let's listen to Alex.
It's a very difficult balance trying to make sure that it's a fun environment for the staff, because if the staff are having fun, the guests are having fun. And that's primarily what people come and stay in hostels for, is to meet other people and to have a good time. But it's a difficult balance to keep it fun, but also make sure they realize that it's still a business. We are still running a business, trying to make a profit.
So, did you guess the hardest thing about running a hostel? Let's check. According to Alex, the most difficult task is to ensure that the business is run properly. Let's listen to him once again.
But it's a difficult balance to keep it fun, but also make sure they realize that it's still a business.
Alex stresses that running a business involves lots of work. To run a business means to control or to be in charge of an activity or organization. So, when Alex says that he runs a business, in general terms, it means that he manages the company. Also, the phrase, to run a business, is synonymous with the expression, to do business. Also, Alex says that running a business goes hand in hand with making a profit. Profit means income or money that you make from your business after your costs have been paid. It's time to check what you've learned today. Here is your task.
Match the two parts of these collocations. To run a business and to do business. Match the parts of this collocation. To make a profit. Astor Hostels are ready to provide young international travelers and backpackers with 110 low-cost rooms and more than 500 beds. Each of the places are usually packed with hundreds of travelers thanks to their unique and vibrant atmosphere. Moreover, you will find no better place to socialize than a hostel. For all this, you will pay 2 or 3 times less than if you had chosen to stay at a hotel. In 2015, Astor Hostels won an award for being #1 small hostel group worldwide. Last year, Astor Hostels celebrated their 40th anniversary.
What do you think it was like to run a hostel 40 years ago? There was no internet, of course. So how did they find customers? Who are the customers? A customer is a person who buys goods or services from a shop or business. Remember that customer is usually a synonym of client.
How did hostels used to find customers 40 years ago? They advertised in newspapers. They looked for backpackers at train stations, or maybe they went to busy tourist attractions. What do you think? Let's find out right now.
The hostel company was started in 1974. It was a different business back then. There was no internet, of course. You had to find customers by going to the train station. We had 4 vans operating at the time, where we would basically pick up the customers as they arrived off the train. So now it's a very different business, of course, but I think it was more fun back then.
Can you imagine? To get customers, the hostel staff had to look for them at a train station. It's completely different now. Today, we've heard some important words from the language of business. Do you remember them? Customers, to oversee, expenditure, revenue, to hire staff, to run a business, and to make a profit. And all that makes a successful hostel or maybe any business. What do you think about that? Maybe you've already got an idea of a cool, unusual hostel? Let's ask Alex for some advice.
Do your research on the market and the kind of customers that you want, because a lot of people want to start a business, but they're not quite sure who their customers are. So do your research on the market, on your competitors, and enjoy what you do.
This has been Jason Palmer. See you in the next episode of The Language of Business.